血圧が高めの方にて障子はいけんのかよ。
Officials say from September to November last year, the company's newspaper ads said it works well for reducing blood pressure. It also said the drink is suitable for people who want to lower their blood pressure level without medicine.
武田のブロプレスでない血圧を下げる薬。
A consumer affairs agency official says the ads are misleading about the effect of the product, as well as information about it. The agency says the ads could be interpreted that the drinks are effective in lowering the blood pressure without medical treatment. This is the first time the government has made this type of recommendation regarding food for specified health uses. Lion officials have apologized for running misleading ads. They say they take the agency's comments seriously and will step up the system for checking the contents of ads to prevent a recurrence.
The fiscal 2016 budget bill has passed the lower house plenary session and gone to the upper house. In accordance with the Constitution, the bill will be enacted by the end of this month when the fiscal year comes to a close. The general account is the largest on record, amounting to 96.7 trillion yen. It includes funds to realize Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's policy of creating a society where all citizens can play an active role. Fees for kindergartens and childcare are to be reduced. The budget also includes funds to build more affordable nursing care facilities. The fiscal 2016 budget bill passed the lower house budget committee and was quickly submitted to the chamber's plenary session for debate. Katsutoshi Kaneda of the LDP says the bill includes the largest ever stimulus measures to bring Japan out of deflation and promote economic recovery. He says what is required now is to have the budget enacted at an early stage so the funds can be delivered to each citizen. The Democratic Party's Kentaro Motomura says if the bill is left as proposed by the government, it will neither achieve economic recovery nor bring the country's finances back to a healthy state, and that now is the time for a change in economic policy. A vote was then held. The majority of members of the LDP, Komeito, and other parties voted in favor of the bill, and it was sent to the upper house. In accordance with the Constitution, the budget bill will be enacted before the end of this fiscal year, even if the upper house votes it down.
Abe met with reporters and he had this to say. Abe says that the early adoption of the budget bill of the next fiscal year is the best economic stimulus. He continues to say that he will work hard for the adoption during the budget deliberations in the upper house starting tomorrow.
The Democratic Party and Japan Innovation Party are planning to merge this month. They held their first meeting today to discuss procedures for the tie-up. A team to decide the new party's name and another group to discuss the party's platform were formed. They confirmed plans to hold full-scale talks and aim to issue an interim report by next Tuesday. Democratic Party leader Katsuya Okada says talks on the details have finally begun, and that time is short. But he says he hopes discussions will be constructive so that a new party to unseat the LDP will be formed. He says in order to do so, he wants each member to make an all-out effort. Japan Innovation leader Yorihisa Matsuno says they are finally into the process of forming the new party. He says they're planning to hold a ceremony to inaugurate the new party on March 27th, so he hopes rank and file members will hold intense debates until then, and he wants everyone to unite.
The Education Ministry says that a private senior high school in Hida City, Mie Prefecture, did not provide adequate teaching. Wits Aoyama Gakuen Senior High School allegedly abused government subsidies for students on correspondence courses. Students were taken to a theme park, which qualified as having studied math because they had to figure out the change due for their purchases. Documents submitted by the school show it took about 40 students to a theme park in Osaka. Watching a foreign movie on the bus was recognized as an English class. Walking from the station to school was recognized as a physical education class. Eating dinner at a restaurant was recognized as having taken the homemaking class. Ice cream making is recognized as homemaking or social studies. Watching the night view of Kobe for 2 hours was an art class. The official guidelines oblige senior high schools offering correspondence courses to students from wide areas to correct their reports and provide schooling the same way as on full-time courses. They're required to teach physical education, math, and other subjects that are mandatory on full-time courses. The ministry says the school's teaching significantly deviates from the official guidelines and can hardly be recognized as senior high school education. The ministry says it will advise the municipal government tomorrow to reconsider the plan to enroll new students. The school says it aims to motivate students to study, but takes this seriously and will make necessary changes.
Now other news in brief. A funeral has been held for a cram school student who was stabbed to death last Saturday on the streets of Fukuoka City. About 250 people, including the family of the slain woman, Hikaru Kitagawa, and former classmates, said goodbye to her for the last time. This friend says she keeps thinking Hikaru is still alive somewhere. She says she can almost see Hikaru smiling at her. Meanwhile, police seized a notebook and other items at the home of a teenager who turned himself in shortly after the incident. He used to go to the same cram school and is suspected of killing Hikaru.
A panel of the United Nations Security Council suspects a man with Japanese nationality has helped a North Korean shipping company evade UN sanctions. The panel of experts monitors the implementation of sanctions against North Korea. It released its annual report. The UN Security Council is expected to adopt new sanctions against North Korea soon. The new measures include strengthening crackdowns on North Korean ships. Japan will likely be asked to do more to implement sanctions without failure. Now women's soccer. Yesterday, Japan's squad, nicknamed Nadeshiko, lost the first qualifying match for the upcoming Olympics in Brazil. Japan will face South Korea tomorrow. Nadeshiko played Australia last night. Nadeshiko's defense was overwhelmed by Australia's speed and passing. They gave up 3 goals. The team needs to review its defense strategy. Today, the players were smiling during training. They reportedly practiced defense and set pieces in the closed-door session. South Korea drew against North Korea 1-1 yesterday. South Korea is placed 18th in the world rankings. Japan is ranked 4th. But Japan lost to South Korea in 2 recent matches, including last August's East Asia Cup. Ji Soyun, is the team's top scorer. This South Korean forward played in the Japanese Women's Soccer League until 2013. She's known for her ability to control a ball well. Ji says she has many friends in Japan. She says she talked to Kawasumi and promised a good match for both.